Well, now that I have an amusing thumbnail ready to go, I suppose I should begin. I visited California pre-pandemic to visit family and friends, and I had a feeling I was about to be very late for my meetup with my aunt. See, my friends and I were in a car driving to go and see her, and as we were doing so, we're hanging out, having a good time catching up. And the car in front of us changes lanes. And we realized very shortly thereafter why that was. It was because there was some big object in the middle of the road ahead of us. My friend, who was driving, tries to slam on the brakes as there was nowhere to go in the other lanes. But not in time. He slams into this thing that we were hurtling towards, and there's this ensuing crunching metal noise that hits us. My friend starts to kind of freeze up, no fault of his own. And, well, I found I thrive in the panic. So I hit the hazards immediately, and as my friend in the backseat is freaking out, asking, "What the hell did we hit?" Well, I try to figure things out. I say, "Hey, maybe we should roll over it. Maybe we can just, get over it like a little bump." My friend tries to drive forward, and a scraping of metal ensues, so he stops very quickly. I then realize there's really only one thing to do. I have to go and see what the deal is, what's in front of the car. So I look out the window, make sure it's clear, kind of squeeze my way out as I step onto Los Angeles highways. And a car in a pickup drives on by, yelling, "What the hell are you doing on the freeway?" I shrug as he drives by, and I go over to the front of the vehicle where I see both my friends, who are wide-eyed, freaked out, and the car behind us, who was irritated, having no idea why the hell we stopped on the freeway. Come on, So, well, I see what it is that made us stop. It's this big piece of metal wedged into my friend's vehicle. So I kind of bend over and I grab hold of it and I start to yank and pull and get it free after a good minute of tugging. And it's a big metal mangled ladder. Great. Okay. Well, it's out. That's good. Awesome. Except I'm now on the freeway holding this, not sure what to do with it. So think about putting it in my friend's vehicle, and, well, aside from it ripping up his interior, I don't think it would fit. There's 3 of us in there already. So I look to my left. Okay, well, there's the cement barrier there with no space. Okay, what about over here to my right? Well, there is a railing instead, and on the other side of that railing is some open space. Space to put the ladder. Great. Awesome. Figured it out. Problem is that there is about 5 lanes of traffic between me and there. That's when I realize I have no choice. I have to get this ladder across the freeway with oncoming traffic in the way. So, to my friend's horrified surprise, they then see me walk over to the edge of our lane and flag down the nearest car coming as I'm holding a giant metal ladder. Luckily, the vehicle comes to a stop as I'm maintaining eye contact, making sure that they kind of understand what's going on here, and they stop. Once I think it's safe, I take a step forward into their lane. And then I do the same thing, hoping that the next car is nice. And luckily, they are. LA traffic was being very nice to me that day, as they allowed me to pass one by one, taking it very slow and steady. Eventually I get to the second to the last lane where there's semis coming by. It's the semi lane. And, well, I figured I'd be there for a while, but no. Another car, or semi-truck, comes up and stops. And he waves me by to come on over, and I take a step into his lane after he's fully stopped and dispense with the ladder, finally get rid of that thing, and then realize I need to get back to my car. Okay, no problem. Another problem, though. All of the vehicles that were there, except for that semi-truck, have gone. It's LA. Everyone's busy. Everyone's got to go. So I now have to walk across the freeway back without a metal ladder to use as a Stop, please. And so I walk over, wave down the nearest person, get them to stop, and I start to make my way over to my friend's vehicle. And I have to admit that whoever it was, all those people that stopped and saw that, probably thought I was just the weirdest long-haired wacko trying to get onto the freeway. But eventually I do make it to my friend's vehicle. They're relieved completely and just start clamoring, and I don't even remember what they were saying because it was just talking, jabbering, and all that. And eventually, well, we leave. We drive into a parking lot. I get under his car, duct tape up some plastic that was hanging loose, but luckily, no damage. At least none that I could see. And we go to my aunt's house, finally. And I have to explain this whole story to her, explaining why we were late. And I'm talking to her about it, and then I get to the point where I say, "Oh, we're stopping for the ladder," and then we stopped on the freeway. She freaks out. She's like, "That's so dangerous. You can't do that. Don't do that. Oh my gosh, never do that. That's terrible." And I glare at my friends, making sure to communicate with my eyes. Don't tell her anything else that happened. And we're like, "Oh yeah, whoops." So she gave me some advice that I'll pass on to anyone else here who might benefit from it. If you are in a position like that, do not do what I did. What I did was very dangerous, and I don't recommend it. Instead, if you hit something, sure, put on your hazards and all that. Signal to get over into the other lanes. Get off on an exit or into the shoulder, and then figure out what the hell you hit. Don't do it in the middle of a freeway. Not even the middle. On the far end of the freeway. Don't be like me.